Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to DeepSeededGeek. This is the first episode of Season 2. I am so excited to start talking to you guys again. I've missed you all. This is so crazy, so cool. And there's so much to talk about right now. But the first thing I gotta let you guys know is about the length of this video. You'll notice that it's quite a bit longer than what my usual videos are. But fear not, it just means that everything that you love about the series is now in a compact little video here. So if you want to skip to the sections that you are interested in the most, be it the gaming news, be it my opinion piece, or what I'm playing, down in the show description below, there are little timelines there that you can click on. It'll take you right to the chapter that you want to see. Alright? So I can't even talk. I'm so excited to be here! Anyway, we're going to get right into it. First up, gaming news. Now, the first bit of news that we're going to talk about is the latest news that the DualShock 4 that's being shipped with the PlayStation 4 is going to be compatible with PC computers on day one. That's pretty impressive, because I remember when Microsoft launched the Xbox, they said, oh yeah, our controller can work with PC as well. But they didn't mention that there were a bunch of loopholes that you had to go around, or that it was a separate one with a cable that you had to do. So for PlayStation just to go, here you go, right out of the box. That's great for PlayStation users who want to make the jump to PC that much easier. And from what I've seen, the specs and everything for the PlayStation 4 controller, it looks more like an Xbox 360 controller, which is great. It's got the bigger handles, it's got more like grip to the triggers and everything like that. The only things that don't work with it are the touchpad that's on the top there and the light bar that's specific to like move functionality, but that's to be expected. So yeah, that's great news. Great for me because I love the PlayStation controller, so to be able to pass that on to the PC, brilliant. Next up is a bit of sad news. We were kind of jerked around a little bit with the hopes that there was a trademark licensing that was filed for Half-Life 3. Apparently that was a hoax, because after a week it was taken down from the website that was published, and no word from Valve as usual about Half-Life 3, so we're waiting again. But regarding Valve and Steam specifically, there was the news over the summer that they had 3 new pieces of information for us all. Number 1 was an operating system specific to Steam, which kind of functions with their big screen home theater kind of deal. The next was that they were going to be releasing the much rumored Steam Box, which is going to be developed by multiple different companies. Which I'm still kind of puzzled over, like how that's going to work for them. But I think it's just like their specifications, their engineering built into whatever computer other manufacturers want to do. Much like, I don't know what else to compare it to. But like how different, like Steam can be used for Mac and PC. I think it'll be something similar to that. But the big news after that, and they have a new controller, which looks pretty badass. I'd have to get my hands on it to really get a feel for the whole thing, but they do mention like the controls are not exactly like they're not bumpers. What is the word I'm looking for? They're not the sticks, the analog sticks or anything like that, but they're touch sensitive kind of things, and they're also like multi-touch pads as well. I don't know. It looks weird and freaky and something new, which is what I love about Valve. But the big thing about Valve that came out this week was that we got the specs for this Steam box. So I'm just going to pull it up right here, and I'll give you guys the lowdown. So the specifications for Valve's Steam machine prototype are as follows. Oops, I turned it sideways and it went away on me. There it is! Okay, so the GPU, the graphics processing unit, some will come with an NVIDIA Titan, some with GTX 780, some with GTX 760, and some with GTX 660. Now, that might mean nothing to the layman, but look up the cards. That's pretty badass. NVIDIA makes pretty damn good cards. I myself have an AMD, just because that was the top of the line when I bought it, but NVIDIA, decent cards all around. The CPU, some boxes will come with Intel i7 4770, some with i5 4570, and some with i3. It doesn't say a specific one after that. But yeah, I personally have last year, whatever the top i7 Intel Core processing unit was, that's what's in my system. So the fact that they're going with those as a standard, it's pretty impressive. The RAM, the thing that makes the damn thing kick ass, some will come with 16 gigabytes DDR3 1600, which if you divide that by half, that's pretty much what the Xbox One will have, or 3 gigabytes DDR5 GPU. DDR5 is what the PlayStation 4 is going to use, although they're 8 gigabytes. So both of those are pretty impressive. Storage for the units will be 1 terabyte or 8 gigabytes of hybrid SSHD. For comparison again, I have 2 terabytes and I have 1 terabyte as a solid state drive in my computer. So this is looking good so far. Power supply is an internal 450 watt 80 plus gold. Dimensions are approximately 12 inches by 12.4 inches by 2.9 inches high, which means it's a little bit bigger than the Xbox One. So this sounds like a pretty powerful unit. And like I said, there are going to be multiple companies that are going to be able to take advantage of these specs and create their own box, sell for their own price with their own brand name. So that's pretty cool. And speaking of which, we're going to move right along. A really cool little thing that you can find on the internet, I'll try and leave a link somewhere out here, is that the Fine Brothers on YouTube put together a little 16-bit montage of what it would look like if you could play an interactive video game based on Freaks and Geeks, the old, time-honored, honest-to-God, gut you where you sit, like TV sitcom that was taken away before its prime. Such an amazing TV show. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's right up everybody's alley. And to play through the whole story as an interactive game, it just sounds too good to be true. Unfortunately, it is. Because I was really hyped up on it, and I went to go watch the video, and I saw in their links they have multiple shows that you could play as interactive video games. So something tells me they don't really exist. I'll do some more sleuthing, and if it turns out that there is actually a game that you can play, I am gonna play the shit out of that game because I love Freaks and Geeks, and that would just be too cool. Last but not least, IndieCade just happened, 2013, and the winners were announced, and the top ones... Oh, this is worth mentioning. Out of 850 submissions, a total of 36 games were announced as IndieCade 2013 finalists last month. And so the winners were announced, and I'll just give you a quick brief kind of go over for some of the standout awards. The Grand Jury Award went to Quadrilateral Cowboy by Blendo Games. Those are the same guys who did 30 Flights of Loving. I didn't particularly like that game, but some of my friends have said some of their other games are pretty worthwhile. So I might look into Quadrilateral Cowboy and see if that's worth my time as well. Let's see, what else? This is one I really like. The Story Word Design Award went to Kentucky Route Zero by Cardboard Computer, which is a game I'll probably play. And I've bought it. It's just been collecting dust on my Steam catalog there. But I plan to go through it. I was going to wait until all the episodes, because it's an episodic game, were out and then play it as a whole and give you guys my thoughts. But I think I'll probably start into it and just wait for the episodes to come, because I'm just chomping at the bit to try that game out. And another one, which I'm really happy to hear, got an award. Yay! The Visual Design Award went to Kentucky Route Zero. But the Audio Design Award went to Gone Home by the Fulbright Company, and that's a game I'll be talking about later in this episode. So congratulations to all the winners. If you want to see the whole list, you can go to polygon.com, and they have the whole list there for you. Last but not least on my gaming news is not really about gaming. It's about a movie called Gravity. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It is awesome. There's not much of a story to the whole thing, but the visual and just the film itself, the way it's shot, the way it's done, the effects, how seamless it is, how real it feels to be out there. It's just incredible. So that's a recommendation for you guys. Get out away from the computers and the PCs and the PlayStations and the Xboxes. Go out, enjoy a movie called Gravity. Now with that, we're going to move on to what I'm playing. So over the summer months, I had about 2 months to myself after the final episode of DeepSeededGeek, where I was going to play a buttload of games. I have so many games in my catalog on Steam there. And a bunch of disc-based games like for the Wii, for the Xbox, for the PlayStation that I haven't even touched yet. So I was just frothing at the mouth and my brain was going every which way as to what I was going to play. So what I ended up playing over the summer were games I have played before. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. There was a bunch of games that I've bought on Steam that I previously owned on PlayStation or Xbox. And I bought them on PC because I wanted the high-end specs and all that kind of stuff, and they were dirt cheap on a Steam sale, so why not? So, over the summer, I played through both Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. I played through the entire Mass Effect trilogy again, this time as Femme Shepard, and I had my romance with Garrus. If you guys have played Mass Effect and you only played as the male Shepard, you are doing yourself a disservice. Jennifer Hale as Commander Shepard is far beyond better than the guy's name is escaping me right now. But the dude who plays Commander Shepard, nothing against him, he was good. But the emotions that come out in Femme Shepard from Jennifer Hale is just nothing short of incredible. So yeah, I played those 5 games and a brand new game that I will talk about. I got the Survivor edition of The Last of Us. Accidentally, actually. I was in the store, I was picking it up, and the gal at the desk, she just plunked it down, and she said, okay, here's your pre-order. And I never buy special editions. But she was really cute, so I didn't have the heart to say, no, you got it wrong. Give me the normal one, because I'm a cheap bastard. But you know what? I'm so glad I caved to a pretty girl. Because not only is this a fantastic game, which I will get into, but can I open it without wasting precious time on this show? Yes! It comes with an art book. Now, most games, I really don't care about the artwork, but after playing this game, I wanted more. I wanted to absorb everything, and this was the perfect companion to that. So I am so thankful that I bought it. And yeah, then it just comes with a steelbook case for The Last of Us with Joel and Ellie. What can I say about this game? I'll be honest. The first 4 hours, I was really worried about the game because it was such a handheld experience. For the first 4 hours, you really don't have the sense that you are in control of this, or you don't feel in the moment, or that you are the characters, because the game is constantly holding your hand and leading you down such a narrow corridor. Like, the game is very linear, and I don't mind linear games at all. In fact, I quite like them. But that said, it just felt too confined. It's like, you know, in Uncharted, where Nathan's walking down like a hallway, you know, you don't go left or right. Or God of War, it just keeps leading you down the same path, and you don't have control over the camera or anything like that. It just leads you. That's how the first 4 hours of The Last of Us felt to me. But once that 4 hours was over, and it was just me and Ellie and the open world, oh my God, I have not spent so much time going to every corner of the game's world, the map, looking at everything, taking it all in, sitting there with my jaw in my lap going, this is gorgeous and beautiful. And the characters, they emote so much. They're so unbelievably believable. You automatically love these characters. You want to hug Ellie to death and make sure she's safe. You want to smack Joel upside the head and go, get over it, you big lug. Plus, Joel has a very handsome beard, I must say. So maybe that attached to me as well. But I am a huge story guy. So going through this game, knowing Naughty Dog was in charge, I knew it was going to be a great game. And they did not disappoint. But the story, the different directions they take in it, is comparable to The Walking Dead, where each episode of that game focused on a different avenue of what it would be like in the zombie apocalypse. Same thing with them, same themes, but in their own unique way. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful game. Anytime a new character is introduced, They are fully fleshed out. Nothing is left to the side. If I can break it down to one scene in particular without getting too spoilerish, there was a scene close to the end game where Ellie has just gone through something extremely traumatic, and she's kind of closed off to Joel. Meanwhile, Joel is doing everything in his power to perk up her spirits or get her out of her funk. And eventually they go through this one area, and Ellie comes across something that is just so bizarre to see in this ravished world. And the two of them have this quiet, serene moment where they just watch. And I found myself sitting there watching with them. The controller was just hanging in my hands. And it was a moment I've never felt in video games where you were right there beside the characters in that moment, just losing yourself, forgetting about all the horrors that are going on in the world and just being there in the moment at peace. It was such a lovely moment that I can't think of another game that recreated that. I can honestly say that the Uncharted games are some of my favorite games ever made. The Last of Us is better than that. It is probably most likely going to be my game of the year. And the only other contender so far for that title is the other game I played during the summer, which was a small little indie title that I already mentioned called Gone Home. It's a quick little indie game, and it's nothing to write home about graphically or anything like that. It won the Sound Design Award for very good reasons. Now, if you've not heard of this game, you can find it on Steam or on the website for the developers. But the basic premise is you are a girl who's just come home from a trip through Europe, much like myself, except I'm not a girl. Anyway, she comes home, she goes into an empty house, her home, which is empty, and she's finding little bits and pieces around the house that says something is not right. No one's home, she can't find her sister, she's finding cryptic messages, and something seems haunted about the whole place. I love me a scary video game and just creepy atmospheres, and this was right up there. And pretty much the game is just a fetch quest, kind of put the pieces together through this house. So you're constantly going through different rooms, finding clues to where to go next, finding the pieces that will bring you to, and piece together what happened. And the cool thing is that it takes place in the mid to late 90s, which is my teenage years, so I'm all for it. And all the references that are spattered throughout the game, I ate them all up. I could relate to everything, and old magazine covers, and I'm just, it was so great. It felt like it was catered to my generation. It was so good. And just with the voice work that they did, it blows me away how with just simple voice work, you can have so much emotion pulled out of characters. You don't need somebody acting and flaunting themselves in front of a camera. Just a disembodied voice can carry so much weight behind it. It is impressive. And the game takes you in ways that you did not expect. It's the video game equivalent of your favorite poem. That's the best way I can describe it. It's a relatively cheap game on Steam. You could probably find it on sale if need be, but whatever the cost is at this moment, it is above and beyond worth every cent of it. Gone Home, go check it out. It's probably going to be first or second for my game of the year this year. I can't say enough good things about that. So The Last of Us, Gone Home, two of the best games I've played all summer, aside from Mass Effect. And with that, those are the games I've been playing. So now we get on to the point where, or the part I should say, that I start spewing all this stuff that I have built up in my brain over the last few months. The last episode we did of DeepSeededGeek was a Google Hangout with Dean and Mike, and I believe the Lord X was in on the E3 one as well. So we did a before and after. And that was about the time that the legendary conference where Xbox came out and they really didn't say beans about all their controversial stuff, and then PlayStation comes out and they just kick him in the balls, and that was that. Well, here's the topic of discussion. The Xbox One since E3 up until now, and all the policy changes that have come and gone. So we're going to go through them one by one here. So originally, the Xbox One was going to have an always online functionality, which meant that every 24 hours, the Xbox One would check to make sure it's online. If not, it would not work. A lot of people were up in arms with that, and until the end of E3, where Sony just said to them about that, 1 week later, they changed their policies. So now that is not a concern anymore. Xbox One will work, you just need a day one patch, and it's all good. Why they couldn't do that in the first place, I don't know. The next policy was there was restricted and pay-based game sharing. What that meant was they had this thing called family sharing where you and 10 of your friends could play on all the games on your Xbox. But if you wanted to loan a game, like you normally do nowadays, to a friend, you would have I think it was a one-time trade to friends, but you couldn't play it again. If you want to take it back from your friend, you would have to pay full retail price to play that game again because you have given up digital rights to it. So that was kind of suckage. But shortly after E3, along with the online, always online feature, it was changed and that was scrapped. The crap thing is that some of the digital sharing that was really cool and that a lot of people were looking forward to, they scrapped that as well. Now, I don't know why they did that. I think that would have won them a lot of praise for keeping that and allowing disc-based sharing. Why they couldn't do both is beyond me. It seems like a very simple thing. You don't need an always online connection to allow that function to exist. You don't need that function, obviously, to do family sharing. You could just lend a freaking disc. So a lot of people have compared it to saying that Xbox says, okay, fine, you guys want your always offline kind of deal and you want to share your disc, fine, you can do that. But you know what? Screw you. We're taking back all the cool things we were offering you. So it's like a punishment for, doing things the way people wanted it in the first place. Again, moving along. Digital sharing, we mentioned that. Used games. This was a big thing. Apparently used games would not work. And I was talking to some of my boys at EB Games and GameStop, and after the initial announcement, I asked them, like, how's this exactly going to work? And they were like, we don't freaking know. They just pulled this on us. We don't know what to do. Like, apparently their thoughts were that they were going to have to, if for every Xbox One game that was going to come in, they would have to digitally scan it, like a barcode kind of thing, so it takes away any digital rights that made it unlockable and resell it at that, or they would have to sell, what was it? They were going to sell sort of like an online pass to unlock the game because it wouldn't work without one. So pretty much it was trying to take every single cent away from used game markets. Whether that's a good thing, bad thing, it's up to you. But doesn't matter anymore because that was taken away shortly after E3 as well. Don Matrick, the big boy behind all of Xbox 360 and Xbox One, was asked one time, what do people do if they don't have an online connection? How do they play Xbox One games? And his fantastic quip was, well, we have an option for that. It's called the Xbox 360. So people thought, well, no, Don, it's actually called the PS4. But that's all well and good. Oops, I screwed everything up here. Hang on a second, folks. There we go. All right, I'm back. I'm so professional. So shortly after that, he came out and he was the guy who had to deliver the whole, well, actually, now we have an offline mode. And by the way, I'm leaving Microsoft. That's right, they handed me my hat, and I'm off to go work at Zynga, a company who's really working against the grain not to go bankrupt right now. So the best way to not go bankrupt is to hire the guy who nearly bankrupted Microsoft. Brilliant job. The last thing to go was the big deal of Kinect always having to be connected to the system, or else it just won't work. So people were up in arms about ideas about security, about why we have to use this. Like, if it's not part of the game, why does it even need to be connected? What is the point of having all this, you know? And me personally, I'm thinking, well, it comes with a headset now, so really, what is the point of a Kinect? You know, if it's just to say Xbox on, how hard is it just to go Xbox on? I don't know. But lo and behold, they came out not too long after all these big announcements. They held on to it as long as they could, but finally they revealed, guess what? The Kinect doesn't need to be connected at all. We're just selling it to you because we believe in this hunk of junk that nobody liked in the first place. Yeah, people thought it was really cool and everything like that, but if you look at polls across the internet, everyone who bought a Kinect almost entirely regret the purchase. And there are hardly any good games that really utilize the Kinect for anything. That being said, I will say this. All my bitching and complaining about the Xbox One and all its policy changes, I think it's ridiculous that this company has turned around so often and has approached their launch with like their tail between their legs and are still thinking, yeah, we're gonna rock. It just soured all my Microsoft brothers and sisters. It soured the taste for Xbox, okay? Like, a lot of them are diehards and they will buy it come hell or high water. And God bless you for doing that. You know, brand loyalty, hey. But my point is this. I'm not the biggest fan of Xbox. I'm less of a fan of Microsoft at this point. And I think it's really sad that they were going to pull all this crap on my friends and my followers that are Xbox fans. Some of my favorite people on YouTube are Xbox exclusive kind of people. And I thought, it is such a shit deal that this is happening to them. You know, if PlayStation ever did this to me, I would be up in arms. And so they were. Xbox fans were. So I think it is fantastic that Microsoft has changed all these policies, because the winners are the gamers, okay? But I think it is so crappy for all my Xbox fans, players, comrades in the gaming world that Microsoft is still in charge of the Xbox. Because I am very worried that this is just signs of what's to come from Xbox and Microsoft. So hopefully I'm wrong, because I don't want my fellow gamers to suffer because of idiots in charge at Microsoft. But let me know what you think. What do you think about the whole Xbox fiasco here? Are you still buying it day one? Has it soured your kind of loyalty? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below, or hit me up, send me a message personally, and we'll get talking about Xbox and its shenanigans. And last but not least, a couple of things that I'm going to be talking about right now are the games I'm going to be playing this week. Like I said in my announcement trailer for Season 2, every month I'm going to be playing through epic long video games, what I have not done in so long. If I could have, I would have played the Mass Effect trilogy while I was doing DeepSeededGeek last year, but I want to always give you guys new content, and then I came up with new show ideas, and I was just running myself into the ground. I didn't have time to play the big long ones, I just had time to play the short ones, which I don't regret, but I want to get back into my epic games. So, that being said, every month I'm going to be focusing on lengthier games until I'm done. I'll give you updates as I go along, what I think of them. And on the weekends, I'll be playing shorter indie type games so I can give you guys new material every time it comes out. So, with that said, a couple of games I'm going to be playing this month. Number one is going to be a little title called Grand Theft Auto 5. Yes, sir. I've played a little bit of the game, and it's impressive. I'll say that much. But I don't know if I'm sold on it just yet. Like I said, I'm very much a story guy. I've played Grand Theft Auto in the past. I've played Grand Theft Auto 4 and San Andreas. I'm not the biggest fan, but this is also the company who did Red Dead Redemption, okay? And that is a game that is on my all-time favorite list. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. The genre might not be up my alley, but I know the talent behind them, and from what I've seen so far, the world is beautiful. It's massive. There's an insane amount of stuff to do. The characters look like they'll have a little bit of depth, and I'm interested to see where the story goes. I'm not going to be doing like trophy horror kind of stuff. I'm just going through the main story, doing a few side quests here and there. I just want to see what the story is all about and judge it from that. So Grand Theft Auto 5, that's on the hit list. But the latest one was a game I just picked up today, which I'm really excited about, Beyond Two Souls. And check it out. I got a special edition one again, accidentally. Again, cute girls at GameStop, yeah, just can't be beat. But it's pretty cool. Got some interesting stuff that comes along with it. There's some documentaries. I get the soundtrack, so I'm hoping the music is quite good. Yeah. And inside, it's got a steel case, so we got Ellie on the front, or not Ellie, I don't know what her name is. Jodie. We'll just call her Ellie. And the back is just an explosion. So Willem Dafoe, Ellen Page, in what looks like to be a really crazy good game, made by the same dudes who did Heavy Rain, a game which I thought was fantastic. Flawed, but fantastic, so I'm really looking forward to this. So between those two games, that's what I'm going to be playing for the next little bit. As far as indie games go, we'll wait and see. I've got a list that's just huge. That will probably take me until next year to finish all of them. So we'll see what tickles my fancy, if that's a phrase that you can use. And I'll give you guys updates when that kind of happens on the next episode, see what's what. And with that, we're going to sign off. Thank you very much for watching this very lengthy episode of DeepSeededGeek. If you dig it, like and share this video and share it with all your friends. Add it to your favorites. Subscribe. Where's that subscribe button? Over here, probably. If you haven't already. And spread the word. If you have comments, criticisms, or if you want me to talk about something, want an idea that you've got kicking around, talked about on DeepSeededGeek, for sure hit me up. Oh, and last but not least, there is an announcement. As always, there will be a collective that we're going to do every Sunday, the last Sunday of every month. Let's try this again. On the last Sunday of every month, we're going to be doing a live Google Hangout with you, the viewers, and some of my friends that I've made already through the YouTubes and locally as well. So what is the date? It's going to be Sunday, October 27th at 5 p.m. Central. That's 5 p.m. Winnipeg time if you want to check that out online. And the topic of discussion will revolve around horror-themed games. It's going to be a Halloween kind of discussion topic there. So we're going to be talking about games that have affected us, where the genre's going, and we may even dive into Halloween aspects like cosplay and video game stuff. Video game cosplay, more to be specific there. So yeah, look forward to that. If you want to be a part of that, send me a message, hit me up in the comments, and we'll get you guys involved. And with that, we'll say goodbye for now, and we'll see you next time on DeepSeededGeek. Take care, you guys.